All right. So I just did a video before about it's this big leak that came out in 4chan. Obviously, you take all that stuff, like with a grain of salt, right? But there is something that, as I was doing the video, it kind of like popped into my brain, and it's a longish video, so I wanted to do a concise breakdown. Because, and I'm not saying like what you're seeing on screen is actually going to be the roster, but I want to make something very clear. Very, very, very clear. Let's, what color we got here? How big? Make it a bit smaller. We know Johnny Cage, right? We know Johnny Cage is a main character, right? It's already been confirmed. However, under the cameos list, under the cameos list in the first combat pack, Cage is also mentioned. Right? So maybe I'll do like a little mark there. Cage. Right? What that means is that if you don't buy the first combat pack, Johnny Cage will never be a character that you can use as a cameo. Now, I guarantee you that every single character that is in MK or will be featured in this game will be fully rendered, which means that they obviously will have the skeletal framework, motion capture, everything like that made available. What I came to the conclusion in my last video and what I'm going to talk about here is that I think what's going to happen, and this is true, that if you don't buy the Combat Pack 1, Cage will never be a cameo character. I want you to think about that for a second. Cage will never be a cameo character for you in Mortal Kombat 1 unless you buy the Combat Pack. I think I figured out what NetherRealm and Warner Brothers are going to do. They are going to monetize the reverse. They will probably come out, or not, it's just a guess. They might come out and say this is going to have every Mortal Kombat character is going to be in this game. But not every MK character will be playable in this game. Right? So if this indeed is true, like I saw some comments, it's like, well, why is the cameo list bigger? Well, that's really easy. Okay, I'm going to highlight in red all the characters that are essentially in a cameo list and the normal list. Again, this is the big, salt shaker leak. I'm not saying it's true, but let's say it is. And like I said, Cage is kind of like the canary in the coal mine. It's like, so we actually miss out on a playable version of Johnny, like or like a gameplay mechanic involving Cage if we don't buy the combat pack. Right? It's not going to be like an assist where it's MK11 where it's like barely anything or Tremor farts off screen and it rumbles across the ground. No, this is they're going to render all these characters. Okay? It gets worse. So if you haven't watched my last video, that's fine. But this video, yeah, definitely, because I have a feeling that this may be the case. So, if we're going to, so we've got Katana in main, Katana in cameo, Melina in main, Melina in cameo, Shang Tsung is in main, Shang Tsung is in cameo, we have Rain in main, Rain in cameo, now the interesting part, we've got the Great Kung Lao in cameo, but not in main. We've got Liu Kang in cameo, but not Fire God Liu Kang. Right? So we got Raiden, obviously Scorpies and Subbies are in there as well. Right, so I'm not taking Liu Kang or Kung Lao because they are named separate. Smoke, Shao Kahn is apparently listed here, unless it's literally like Shao before he became Shao Kahn. That'd be a trip. We have Lee May and main, Lee May cameo, Bo Rai Cho main, Bo Rai Cho cameo. I think I saw Ashra main, Ashra cameo, Tanya main, Natara main, Bam Bam. We also have. I'm just trying to see. Do we have Kenshi? Kenshi's main. Kenshi cameo. All right. I'll just scroll down a smidgy just to see the bottom characters here, and of course there's this list over here as well. None of those are absolutely main on this side list here. Goro's not in there as a cameo, right? Shujinko isn't. Reiko, no. Havoc, no, unless I'm blind. Sindel, no. I think was Reptile. Reptile is Reptile a cameo? No. Baraka, no. Serena isn't, and Kano isn't. Right? Now, and then obviously if the combat pack, which it seems to be real, you get 6 brand new characters, like playable characters, none of which are showing up as cameos, except the cameo inclusion of Cage, and then 4 new characters under the cameo system. Right? So, I honestly believe that they will market Mortal Kombat 1 as having every MK character in the game. Not only that, they will also claim that every single character will eventually be playable. This is what I think is going to happen. Because they're going to have to render these characters, because you're not going to have a cameo system where, you know, just a puff of thing comes out from the side. All of these characters, whether they're cameos or not, whether these lists are accurate or not, they are going to be rendered. Now, what's going to be interesting is that on PC, whether people figure out in the code that a cameo character that you can't use playable is actually fully equipped with every special move, fatality, ending special, whatever, everything that makes a character playable. This is what I think is going to happen. They're going to monetize the shit out of this. They are going to take cameo characters, right? And they are going to stick it in future combat packs that if you don't buy that combat pack, well then Cabal will only remain a cameo character unless you buy the combat pack, and then you will unlock the ability to use him as a fully playable character. Right? And it will go on reverse. Okay? They will have, naturally, as you can see here, with Johnny Cage as the prime example, that are both a playable character and a cameo character. If they made a full playable character, I can guarantee you they will also have the cameo equivalent for that gameplay mechanic, which means that over time, because they're going to monetize the shit out of this game, they want MK1 to stick around for a really long time. They are going to monetize the absolute poo bum out of this, and they're going to take characters that are playable and add them as a feature of the combat pack that you can now have them unlocked as a cameo. And in reverse, they're going to take, say, Nightwolf, right? Just double checking. They're going to take Nightwolf, who could be an unlockable cameo, right? Because the leak claims all of these characters on the right are also cameos as well. Okay. They're going to take those characters that are cameos, and as a future combat pack go, okay, well, when you buy this combat pack, you will now be able to select on the first choice screen, like the main player character select screen, you can now choose Nightwolf as a playable character. This is how they're going to make money. They've essentially created, right, a parallel DLC unlock system whereby if your favorite character is Nightwolf or Cabal, like I love Cabal, then you know, and if this is what they do, you know that in time they are going to make that character available. Now they might do some available through free patches, you know, that'd be great. But ultimately, I think what they're going to do is that they know that people are going to be hanging out for Jade or Cabal or Nightwolf or Erron Black or other characters that people gotten used to in recent years. Characters that when you look at that list, you know they're fully rendered already. Like it's, you know, like they're gonna be able to do them easily, and they're gonna be cameos, so their character model is gonna exist. It's interesting at the PC code when people get into it can see whether the character's fully equipped, and they're locking the ability to use it entirely behind a paywall, or they literally have not completed the character, and that's what's part of the combat pack. And that is how they are going to monetize Mortal Kombat 1. They are going to naturally, and look, it'll work on me, they're naturally going to lean into the nostalgia and attachment that people have for characters and know that people are going to be waiting and waiting. Look what happened with Melina, right? Look at the massive interest that people had with wanting to have Melina as a playable character. And eventually she did. Right? It's Warner Brothers and NetherRealm, and no offense, but MK11 is a massive DLC RNG loot box where they absolutely wanted you to, you know, spend money and whatnot. And they probably realized that, well, you know, people didn't really like that system. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our entire MK roster, we're going to give you roughly a third, and then the 2/3, we're going to be able to, across multiple combat packs, make it available so that you can have those characters as cameos and playable. Now, the interesting thing here is that I'm going to assume that these characters here will have an already available cameo mode. Right? The cameo mode, when you buy the combat pack and it's got Ermac in it, it'll be automatic. Right? So you get the character and then you get the unlocked game mechanic that they've tied in with this cameo system. But just like you can see here, they will take characters that are either playable on the main screen, like first choice, or playable or chosen as a cameo assist system, and they're going to go, okay, well, we haven't made Cabal, Nightwolf, or Serena fully playable yet. So, oh, sorry, Serena's in there. My bad. There we go. Yep, there we go. My bad. There's another one. Cool, excellent. That's one down. So say for example, Nightwolf and Cabal, right? They're going to take those two characters and they're going to stick them in a combat pack and go, when you buy this combat pack, which has some new characters, right? You also will unlock the ability to use them as a fully playable character as well. Aren't we generous? That's what they're going to do, man. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. But that's what I think they're going to do, which means that, yes, we'll eventually have every MK character available and that the cameo system will be a lot of fun, but it'll also keep us waiting, some of us, for our characters to finally become playable if some of those characters are indeed our favorites, but they're locked in the cameo system. Because they will know that the cameo system is going to break the community by having favorites locked away for just a visual flair to pop out and do something. So what they're going to do is they might come out and say, you know what, all of these characters, even cameo, eventually be playable. Right? And they're going to work behind the scenes to make that happen. So they don't need to come out with new story DLC. They just simply keep needing to pump out combat packs. Why? Because when you look at other fighting games like Tekken 7 and Street Fighter 5 and stuff, they brought out tons of character packs. I think you get more characters in a combat pack than you do in those other releases. I think, from memory. I think we actually get more. I think that's how they're going to do it, and I think they're going to completely monetize our nostalgia and love of MK. And I think that's what they're going to do. Because they know that it will splinter the community, so they have to have a backup, but they need to make money, so they're going to monetize that backup by knowing that, oh, well, everyone's going to be playable. They're just not available yet. Right? And people will pay. I'd pay to have access to Cabal playable, as long as the combat pack brings new stuff into it. If you literally bring out a combat pack going, well, these 5 characters are now playable as main characters, that's not going to work. You are going to have to incentivize people to spend the money to do that. And that's what they're going to do. Bookmark this video. We're going to see whether I'm right or wrong. Anyway, catch you next time.